Welcome to the launch of Reach 2020. I am Vicky Osmond. I hope you found the link okay and everything worked. So that's exciting if you've managed to find us. First things first, I wanted to say that it's been an incredibly busy half term for all of our new first year students. It's already a huge change coming to sixth form college with a new campus and directed time and learning new systems and meeting teachers and new people. I hope you're all having a really good and well-deserved restful October half term. I know we're having a quiet one in Wales, and it's just lovely to be around the family. After this session, I will be answering emails in the next couple of days. I am going to take a couple of days off, but I will get back to you. So if you've got any queries or you've got anything you'd like to know more about the programme, feel free to email me afterwards, and that will be great. This evening, I'm going to talk about what is Reach, what HE Plus is and why you might want to choose to do it. We are also going to discuss what is supercurricular and some of the terms I bandy around. And I wanted to run this session because it means that not only my students, but also their parents and carers can be involved and find out more about how we support our brightest and best to go, if they want to go to university, to go on to those really competitive universities, both in this country and abroad. And this evening, I'm going to use a PowerPoint, and then a little bit later, I'm going to, I have interviewed some of our former students, our alumni who've gone on to amazing universities, and they're going to talk about all things Reach, HE Plus and supercurricular so that you hear it from the students' perspectives as well. And then my plan is in the coming weeks to interview some of them on the channel so you can hear from them in a bit more depth. I've told the students it'd be worth having a pen and paper handy, which would be great. A video of this a version of this will go up on the channel later, but it won't have the student interviews at the end. So this is all about how do we at Hereford Sixth Form College help prepare students for competitive entry courses at those top universities. This used to be called an early applicant programme, and we do support our early applicants. So I thought, first of all, let's talk about what is an early applicant. An early applicant is someone who's applying early to university. Most students apply to UCAS in January of their second year. If you're applying early, you apply in October. It's just happened. And this is people who are applying to Oxford or Cambridge, but also medics, vets, and dentists. And we need to make sure that we support these students so they know that they want to go for these universities and they can successfully go to these universities from much earlier on than the rest of their cohort. So as I said, they apply during October of their second year. The rest of our wonderful students will be internal application by November or December, and it gets sent to UCAS by January. So we need to get you ready if you did want to apply to these early. So what happens is our brightest and best, our gifted and talented students do the year of Reach. And as the year progresses, they decide if they do want to go for early application or if they don't. About 300 students join Reach. I want them to make an informed decision. Do they want to go to university? And also, do they know what kinds of universities they might want to go to? And then for some of those students, about 100 will then choose to go on to apply to Oxford, Cambridge, or be medics, vets, or dentists. The other 200 who are on Reach find courses they prefer at other top universities. And I mention them all the time, but Cardiff, Bristol, Birmingham, Warwick, UCL, among others, and among many of the students I interview on my YouTube channel who've gone on to those top universities. But also it is worth getting ready all of those students to be able to make applications successfully to those brilliant universities. The other thing is you might well decide to go through normal application if you need more time. If by October of your second year, you're thinking about medicine or veterinary medicine or dentistry, Oxford or Cambridge, but you need more time to get predicted those top grades, then you can reapply on a gap year and we help you think about all of those options. Do you want to go to uni? Do you want to go to Russell Group universities? And if you wanted to go to the really top ones, the medics, vets, dentists, and Oxbridge, we also prepare you for that. What are the top universities? So these are what used to be called the Russell Group universities and are now called higher tariff universities or higher tier, which means they want you to have really high grades. And that is one of the reasons why we are so successful, is we support you from early on and give you those tools to look at which universities you might want to go to. So you can, as I said, make a competitive application. Some of these are some real popular ones with our students. For example, Cardiff is hugely popular with our students, Birmingham as well, Bristol. And then, of course, some of the others, for example, Queen Mary, Belfast. We've also got lots of others on there. So those are the really competitive universities. They tend to be more research heavy. You don't have to apply to these. And actually, lots of our students choose to apply to a huge range of universities, some of the more modern and creative universities, as well as some research-based ones. And we help you make those decisions as well. What grades do you need to apply to these competitive universities? Generally speaking, GCSE subjects and grades do matter. And any first year A-level results do matter. So if you're taking fast track maths, or if you're taking core maths with us, it is worth pushing yourself to get a good grade in that, because that is what goes on your UCAS form. They will look back at your GCSEs and ideally they'd like to see kind of Bs, As and A stars, 7s, 8s and 9s, because mostly AS grades are gone. Your year 1 results will be a basis of your predicted grade. So by June of your first year, we want to see potential for As and A stars at A-level. But very important, and this is something that I cannot stress enough, they'd like you to have very good grades at GCSE, but they also know that we as a centre find potential. I interviewed Lara on my YouTube channel. She had very few GCSEs and she came to sixth form college. She didn't think that university was an option for her. And I think she had 5 or 6 GCSEs and she's now studying history at Oxford. Contextual information is very important. How you ranked in your school. If your school, for example, was going through a tough patch and was really struggling with various things, or you had some supply teachers, that's worth us knowing and we can write that on your reference. If you've had illness or you are the first person in your family to apply for university, these are really important things that we will find out from you, because universities might be looking for someone just like you. Perhaps you came from a family who never even considered you could go to university. Perhaps you did have all 8s and 9s at GCSE. Amazing, absolutely brilliant. You are going to go on to some amazing universities and we're here to support you. But if you've got circumstances you need to tell us about, something that went on with your family, you can let us know in confidence, either your personal tutor, your director of studies, or you can come and see one of my careers team. And that will not be a barrier to you to apply to universities. Universities might be looking for someone just like you. Choice of A-level subjects is important. And if you've got any queries, do email me about this. Particularly for science degrees, medics, you need generally biology and chemistry, although Paul knows a huge amount about that. Engineering, they generally want you to have maths and further maths if at all possible. The same for computer science. I'm about to interview Errol on the YouTube channel, who is doing computer science at Warwick, and he talks quite openly about how he's loved it and he's doing maths and computer science, but further maths would have helped. So it's a really good idea to be aware that for some subjects, further maths does help. Top unis generally want tough subjects. They do tend to want 2 of the more traditional subjects. If you're not sure if you're on that kind of subject base, do email me and I can help you with those. So those are worth checking and having a little look at. Oh, I've always thought I'd quite like to go to Bath and have a look and see if they've asked any particular requirements. Having said all this, you should be aiming for the best grades. We're here to support you. We will work to support you. And that's really important. Aim high. The sky is the limit. How tough is it to go to Oxford or Cambridge? Just simply put, the numbers applying is going up and the places are staying static. So it is very tough. But what we have found is actually through the REACH programme, the support, the readiness, the bespoke support we give you, every single personal statement checked, every single UCAS checked, that you know what to apply for, that you know where to apply and where you are going, then we are having an amazing success rate actually against this graph. For example, this year in 2020, 31 students received offers of places to study at Oxford and Cambridge, which was 42% of those who applied, when the national average is less than 20%. Now let's have a look. What is REACH? REACH is 1 hour a week from January. It will go into your timetable, and it's to form a community of the most able. In some of your subjects, for example, I teach English literature, which is amazing, but I have a full spectrum of ability in my wonderful classes. And it's really important that you get to know other people who are applying to those competitive entry courses at those Russell Group universities, so that you can support one another and talk about what you're doing beyond your curriculum, and also give each other ideas. And as time goes on, if you did end up having an interview, for example, to UCL or one of the other top universities, Bristol, for example, they would be able to help you, and you can form a community of people outside your subject to give you ideas, hints, tips, and support. What happens in these sessions? By the way, this year will likely be remote on Teams, but we will play it by ear. It's looking that it will likely be remote. So those will be on your timetable and Teams, and all you need is access to the college Wi-Fi and a phone and some earphones if you are in one of the Risbury or quiet study rooms or somewhere. What will happen in these sessions? You get critical thinking skills. One of the things that more and more of the top universities do is they give you what's called an admissions test. These are an assessment that's given to everyone across the whole country. So no exam boards, no different specifications, no differences between the different syllabi. And what they do is they give you a test in your subject that gives them a taste of what kind of student you are. Lots of the top universities are asking for these now. And you need critical thinking skills, being able to assess arguments, being able to work your way through multiple choice questions, being able to work under time pressure. These are hugely important skills that you'll need to do. We also do supercurricular. We help you think beyond your A-level study and find opportunities, reading, study opportunities, and things you can do to help boost you beyond the A-levels to be a really creative student. They are also, practically speaking, careers lessons. We get you started early. So for example, you'll have a personal statement session in May, and you'll start thinking through, and you may well have, in fact, you will have a one-to-one with either, as you see in the top corner there, myself, Alexis Evans, or Steph Spencer. Those are the REACH teachers. And you will have a one-to-one with your REACH teacher to just mull over ideas for possible personal statements before the summer. And it's that kind of really early support to wherever you're applying to make you start thinking, so you can kind of go, okay, I can get this, I can get these ideas. We also help you through the UCAS form. It's brilliant and it's fantastic, but there are little complexities to it. We help you sort UCAS apply, and these are careers lessons to help you process and think through different options of universities. As I said, you get personal statement support from May onwards. We tweak. And by the time those personal statements go onto your UCAS and go to your universities, I have seen them hundreds of times, and I've checked every single apostrophe and comma, and yes, giving you lots of kind of very brutal support to make sure it's perfect. We also give you mock interviews with some of our specialists, and we also help you have with visiting speakers. For example, we've got India Collins from Oriel, Oxford. She's recorded some special things for us, and she's come into a virtual session for us. We do interview workshops with Christ's, Cambridge. Also, we have multiple mock interviews for the medics, a huge range of opportunities, discussion groups, admission test preparation, maths prep, everything. It's the kind of support which does mean that we are able to compete with some of the best centres in the country. And that's what I am so proud of, our amazing comprehensive college. And isn't that wonderful? HE Plus. In addition to Reach, you may choose to do HE Plus. These are masterclasses which are run and funded by Cambridge University. HE Plus we are a consortium hub for HE Plus, and this year it'll be virtual, but normally about 270 students from Herefordshire, Worcester, Malvern and Hereford Sixth Form College come to 5 Wednesday afternoon masterclasses on Hereford Sixth Form College campus. So they usually bust in their hordes, and they come to a range of masterclasses in some of the subjects above. And they have these 5 sessions that you sign up for. So you sign up for one subject and you go to that subject 5 times. And these are a university style lecture to give you a taste of university life. So if you know all about university, or if you know absolutely nothing, that's fantastic. You do have to still sign up for these. These are going to be virtual this year. So all of our amazing teachers and medics are going to be lecturing from a distance and recording their sessions. And you would get the link, which will be available for 1 week to you and our consortium hub schools who we work with. And then it'll come down. So you'll have a week to watch the lecture, make notes and be inspired. I always like to say, think of it like 5 trips that we run on site for free. So rather than having to pay to go and hear a lecture from a specialist in a subject, or to go and pay for a trip to somewhere, we run them. They run from November to March on Wednesday afternoons periodically. They're designed to stretch you way beyond the A-level syllabus. They aren't on the A-level spec. They are going to be expanding your mind with different ideas about your subject. And that's the point, to give you an insight. Yes, A-level's fantastic, but this is what it could be like next. And then you will know, yes, that's for me, or not. If you don't want to attend HE Plus, you'll still be enrolled on Reach from January. You can do just Reach, or you can do Reach and HE Plus together. Let's now look at what those top universities, what are Oxbridge or vet, medics, dentists, those universities looking for? They are looking for academic ability and potential. You may not be there yet by the end of year 1, but you'll have potential. They want you to be flexible in the way you think. You like responding to new ideas. That when you get a new challenging piece of information, you don't get up, you go after it. You're the kind of student who goes to workshops to make sure you've understood that topic. They want you to think clearly and critically. They want you to be able to think about your own ideas. Oh, I made a mistake there. Oh, I think that's really interesting. They want you to be able to think back over what you've done and enjoy learning. They want you to engage with new ideas. You aren't afraid of getting out of your comfort zone and grabbing new ideas with both hands. So what are they looking for? Yes, they're looking for academic ability and potential. They do sometimes want the right kinds of subjects. They want genuine subject interest, that you have a passion and you've followed it. And they want you to be suitable for the chosen course. They want you to love that subject. Love your subject. Do they care about particular backgrounds? No, absolutely not. They don't mind where you come from. They want to know if things went well or if things didn't go so well, but it doesn't matter about your background. Are they looking for particular school types? No, they absolutely aren't. And the way we found that they respond to us, both Oxbridge, vets, meds and dentists, they are looking for students like the ones that we have, independent, mature. You've chosen your course. Do they mind about extracurricular? No. Extracurricular is wonderful, but it won't get you into university. They want you to have a passion for your subject. What are they not looking for? They don't mind if you're not confident. I have a student who's just gone up to Oxford, and they are not a confident public speaker. They probably don't make eye contact, and they definitely wouldn't shake your hand. But do they love their subject? Yes. At the end of the Oxford interview, the college phoned me and said that that student was one of the most exciting for their subject they had ever met. Were they confident? No. Were they a smooth performer? Absolutely not. But did they find that student unique, fascinating, and I'm sure they are going to love their time at university. So they don't mind if you're not a good public speaker. You could, I'm not sure. I don't really know the answer, but is it this? I might be wrong in, you just talk through your ideas. They're not looking for extracurricular for the sake of it, and they don't want you to select a particular college for any particular reason. My motto, get comfortable being uncomfortable. Challenge yourself to be the best that you can be. See if you can be among the best in your classes. At this moment, you're probably thinking, oh my goodness, everyone is settled in. But this is over time, over time. Push yourself. Explore your subject in depth. Read more, learn more, research, do more of your subject. That's a really, really good thing. Always be learning. I love learning. I love learning about subjects that aren't in my field. I'm an English literature specialist, but I find psychology fascinating. I'm interested in chemistry. Learning. Make learning your priority. And these are some of the things that they want for academic potential. That you're curious, that you like hard work, you're enthusiastic, you are independent. You've chosen the sixth form college because it is that stepping stone to independent adult life. You are already on your way. Mental agility. Well, in biology, we learned about respiratory system of humans. So I wonder if it could be the same for respiratory systems of starfish. Mental agility, joining together the dots. Critical and analytical thought, that you like new ideas, that you love your subject, and you want to be stretched beyond where you are now. You like being challenged. It's hard, but you enjoy it. Supercurricular. So what is supercurricular? Supercurricular is a term that lots of the top universities use to think about things that are beyond your subject, not extracurricular, but supercurricular. It's just a state of mind, but there are some other options as well. Things like summer schools, work experience, medics, for example, they will put more emphasis on whether you've done work experience or virtual work experience, or whether you've watched work experience, that kind of thing. TED Talks, public lectures. Have you watched lectures? Have you done any voluntary work for medics, vets and dentists? That's quite important. Have a go at competitions, maths bomb, maths competitions, that you saw something on impact and you went for an essay competition. Enrichment activities, accessible opportunities, and they want you to read newspapers, journals and books. We will talk a huge amount more about that in Reach lessons, so don't worry if you don't know how to do those things yet. How do I find these things? We will be running library sessions, so the librarians who are amazing are going to be videoing themselves talking about how to use our amazing library for all it's worth. It has so many resources in the library. Both the books, of course, that are there, but also we subscribe to thousands of online journals so you can access them from home. We also have some websites like Massalit, which we subscribe to, e-magazine online. There are a huge number of resources that we can offer you. We also will support you to do things like MOOCs, massive open online courses. We'll learn about that in Reach. So you'll find out about those. I will email you about every 2 weeks with opportunities. You will get bored by how many opportunities emails I send you, like, oh, not another opportunity. Is it really 2 weeks again? Do check the Impact portal. We put up information about opportunities, work experience, apprenticeships, study days, lectures that you can have. There are so many opportunities on Impact. We update it almost daily. So just quick look through once a week. That is a very, very good idea. In one of your direct study periods, get onto your phone, quickly log in, check your attendance, check everything's going well. And then, for example, just quick look through Impact. Is there anything I want to apply for? Oh, classical civilization going on there. Oh, a little essay competition here. Oh, a maths challenge. That's what we suggest you do. HE Plus sessions, a taste of university life. And also you can then think, it was in an HE Plus session on dementia that I was fascinated by this, or it was in classical civilization session, or it was in Spanish when Don Tim was talking about something or other that I really thought about this. HE Plus could form the basis of your personal statement. So that's definitely an opportunity you can think about. Reach lessons will help you with those. Don't be afraid to set up, for example, in your class bubble, you could set up a lunchtime or a workshop. If you had the same kind of lunchtime, if you had, for example, that as time in your classroom, you could also set up a workshop. Some of our students who we're going to meet later discuss that. So they set up a society that they did in workshop sessions that then ended up getting about 25 students coming either virtually to it or in person. Academic discussion groups, set things up. Even, for example, a Snapchat group where you share ideas, articles about your subject. That's a really, really great idea. In your second year, you might choose to do an extended project qualification. This is something you could do alongside your 3 or your 4 A levels, and it is where you can explore your subject specifically in more depth. And you either write an essay or you create something. That starts from May, and you will find out about the EPQ in your tutorial sessions. So don't worry, you sign up for them from May. Okay, so that's another thing you can do in your second year. That shows your interest in your subject, that kind of laser focus in the subject you're really fascinated by. Debate Society, University Masterclasses, they're still going on, all virtual. Oxford Study Days and the VLE. The VLE often has loads of resources on it, or Teams if your teacher's using those. So some of the things I thought would be a really good idea. TED Talks, short, simple, watch TED Talks. What a great way of exploring a subject. And these are some of the other things. For example, New Scientist, read the newspapers, read, research, think. You could listen to the radio if you have a long commute, as some of our wonderful students do. Listen to Radio 4, listen to different reviews, listen to the Life Scientific. There are so many opportunities for you to listen and learn, and it just depends what suits you. But particularly if you've got a long commute, these are what I would recommend. Massive open online courses, MOOCs. These are just a few of them. FutureLearn, Coursera. There are so many MOOCs, and these, they say that it'll take a month. You could just do it over a weekend and just work your way through the modules. Very important, don't bother paying for the certificate. You don't need the certificate. It's the learning that the universities like. I completed a MOOC in psychology, and I was fascinated by the way the infant brain developed. I completed a MOOC in physics, in black holes, and looked at this. That's amazing. Isn't a university going to be impressed by that? So what is the timeline from now? The first week back after this half term, you will get information and registration information about HE+. The reason there's been a bit of a delay is some of the subjects have changed a little bit. And we are also working on having the form electronic, because as you can imagine, getting 270 paper forms in is a little bit problematic at the moment. So we are in the process of making this electronic, and you will get the subject information and registration emailed out to you, and I will text you next week when it's ready. So don't worry about that. The HE Plus sessions, the link will be sent to you, and you, as I said, will have a week to watch it. The first session is due to be November the 18th, so you would get the link that day. During the next half term, settle into A-level, advanced level study. It's tough. You are doing amazingly. In late January, reach lessons start. So you've got this next half term to keep settling in. I'm now going to email you regularly. You could sign up for HE Plus if you wanted. Start looking out for different opportunities to apply for, or things to stretch you, or just continue to get used to college life. And then reach lessons start in late January. It'll go onto your timetable, and I will email and text you before they start. Don't worry, nothing will happen without you knowing about it. So what should I be doing now? Read beyond your subject. Use the library, subject enhancement lists, the VLE. Keep records, very important. Impact, use impact. Read this, did this bit of virtual work experience, looked at this, went to the gym, record everything on impact. We use it when we write your reference for university. We then personalize it with all the things you do, all the things you've read and done and accessed. Plus also, I don't know if you're like me, but I often forget stuff. And I was like, what was that book I read again? Where did I find that article? I ask my students all the times in lessons. I'm like, what was that thing I was talking about the other lesson? They're like, okay, Vicky. So record stuff. It's a great way of recording what you're doing and when. So you can look back at it in months to come. Record what you're thinking about an HE plus session. That's the kind of thing that could make a personal statement. I did this session on this. It was amazing. I was fascinated because follow your interest. Well, I learned about this in biology, so I went and read this article about it online, and then I went and watched a TED talk about it. That's super curricular thinking right there. That's super curricular. Push yourself. In some subjects, you will start on a low grade. Oh my goodness, the step up from GCSE to A-level is hard, isn't it? I mean, it's just a shock. But don't worry, you'll get there. You just need to show potential. You will probably know, if you had known me as a teacher, I'm known for being quite harsh on my marking. I won't give you high grades yet necessarily. It takes a while for you to settle in. That's okay. I can see your potential. Don't settle. Little steps forward all the time. Go to workshops, push yourself, get closer to those subjects. That's what makes you an amazing student. It's a very long linear process. There's no rush. We need to see potential by the end of year one. You don't need to be on all A stars. By the end of year, as I said, I apologize, you will need to show that potential. You don't necessarily need to be there yet. Your teachers need to say, I can see it in you. I can see it. Your teachers write your reference at the end of this year, and we write personalized references for every student. This is student driven. And this is another shift of thinking. At A-level, at sixth form college, we want you to step up. You choose to be here. You are choosing to be a part of Reach. You don't join Reach unless you want to. It's absolutely up to you. I certainly don't want to bring you into this unless you want it. Opportunities you apply for. I'll be a referee. Because this is for the high achievers, for the driven, for the people who want those really competitive choices, it is up to you. Notice relevant courses, apply for study days, look at things in the tutorial bulletins, look at things on impact. Read your college emails, that's a very good idea. Set up a club, be motivated, be motivated. It is so exciting to be a part of a college where it's cool to be a geek. Even now, I am still a geek, and that's an amazing opportunity. These are some of the Oxford and Cambridge initiatives, which are all virtual: study days, shadowing schemes, e-mentoring websites, Villiers Park, Sutton Trust, unique. Sixth form college open days at Oxford. There are open days. We usually take a trip to this. We'll see if it goes ahead next year. Presentations to parents. That is going ahead this year. We've got a senior admissions tutor to speak to parents later in the year. So that's an amazing opportunity. We have Oriel joining us for web links. We have Christ College, Cambridge joining us. We have lots of things in the pipeline where we're going to chat to some amazing people to help you apply for these universities and give you ideas. We give you interview preparation workshops, HE+, and we have link colleges. We work very, very closely with our link colleges, but actually we have quite a lot of links across Oxford and Cambridge because of our wonderful students. What an amazing opportunity. An outstanding sixth form education, world-class university system, and apprenticeships if you wanted to go that way instead. Reach. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show us a video of some of the students who've been through Reach, and they're going to talk about their experiences and what they would recommend if they were in your shoes.
For me, Oxford and Cambridge have always been the target, but I didn't know anything at all about the application process, so coming to sixth form really helped. especially with the personal statement. I wrote my first draft and I had to completely redo it because it was, yeah, the English wasn't good enough, and I wasn't showing my true feelings for the subject through it, and the college helped guide me through that. So if you ask for help, they'll give you help, and it's really what pushed me on to be able to apply for Oxford.
The HE Plus programme helped to no end. It was great to learn about all these different, so I did the medical one, and Kit just said all these different things that just inspired me. He was like talking about dementia and the prevalence and stuff like that. It was just amazing. And yeah, the colleges helped loads.
I found it really useful because it really taught me what universities are after and how you present yourself to them in the best manner.
And are you going to apply for Oxbridge?
No, I'm not.
And why is that?
Because I found a world-renowned course that really focused on what I want to do with my career.
And would you have thought it wasn't worth doing Reach, or what would you have said to yourself a year ago?
I would definitely say to held on with Reach because it really taught me about the options that are available beyond just Oxbridge.
And so when will you apply?
I'll be applying November.
So there was HE Plus run, and that was a series of lectures which we had by my chemistry teacher and Henry's chemistry teacher as well, Phil. And he's an incredibly smart dude, and he told us all sorts of stuff that blew our minds, and it was very good fun. And it was a lot of conversation and like challenging and just doing stuff outside the A level, which actually proved to be really good fun.
And there's the Reach programme by Jonathan Godfrey, who's another really smart dude, and it just gets you to think about not necessarily your subject, but more just thinking as a whole.
Well, I came in not thinking about it at all, and it was through things like Reach and HE Plus that I realised I definitely wanted to. And with access to all the reading in the library and all the sort of extracurricular stuff to try and expand your knowledge and challenge yourself, you've just got to take everything that comes to you and use all the resources to hand.
And on the portal there's always the opportunities to go. You can go to Oxford and Cambridge to do the supercurricular activities that they offer there.
Applying for like Oxbridge has completely changed how I compute information now. I'm always constantly asking myself, well, if someone were to ask me it's an interview, would I be able to explain it? And I really think that's for the better, because you really challenge yourself and you really start to understand what it's like to understand stuff. So it's quite interesting.
I'm not nervous at all about applying to university, to be honest. I mean, it's been explained so many times, and I know the process very well.
Science Society.
So tell us about that.
The coolest club in college. So it's a group where maybe about 20 of us meet, and we take turns to present talks. So Henry did one on
Feynman diagrams,
and I did one on a biotechnology called CRISPR. And it's really good because you get to create a presentation which yourself is quite taxing, and then giving it, and it's really it challenges, as I said earlier, your understanding of the topic, and then being able to discuss it with peers and people that are just as interested as you is really good fun.
Everybody says it's a big step up, and you think, well, I found GCSE's fine, I'll be fine at A-level, and you start off feeling like that, and then you get to A-level and you're like, oh, and you have to work loads. But it's a really good experience because you get to pick what you want to study, so you actually enjoy studying, which is a lot better. So then you can easily spend twice as much time on a subject than you did at GCSE. It's been really helpful. It's really daunting to begin with, but it's really useful. It gives you a very clear insight into how much work you've got to put in if you want to go for those top universities, and you shouldn't be scared about going for them. I mean, everybody is, but you might as well give it a go, and the early applicant programme really helps you prepare for that. Gives you all the tips that you wouldn't ever think of, so it's really useful. Schools usually teach you that you need to do extracurricular, and that will give you a good uni application, but for the more difficult unis, you wouldn't ever think of supercurricular, but that's what they want. So it was really helpful when you came here to start taught about that sort of thing, and also the library has so many resources that you can use.
And then what about someone who's considering coming to sixth form? What would you recommend? Why are you here?
It's really supportive. They make you work hard, but that means you can reach your potential, I guess. In that cheesy quote. It's a friendly but encouraging environment. Yeah, fantastic. Thanks.
There's absolutely nothing to lose. If you are interested in a subject, if you find it fascinating, if you want to pursue it further, and if you think Oxford or Cambridge are the right place for you, there's just nothing to lose. You might get in, you might not, but as long as you try, that's what's important.
And so hopefully that's given you a good insight into some of the students who went through the programme and what they would recommend. And as I said, I'm going to interview a few of them in the coming weeks, although if you have looked back over the videos that I've made, you would see some familiar faces already. And they have gone on to a huge range of universities, just the students in that video. And that's what's so exciting about this. I hope that has really helped you understand the REACH programme. From now on, I will be in touch with the students, as I said, every couple of weeks. HE Plus information will come out when we're back at college. I hope that you have a really good rest of week, and thank you so much for joining me. And I hope to see you all soon. Thanks. Bye then.